Happy Friday, folks. And here we are. I want to go over our Symbiosis Lab. It's quick. It's easy. It's like the perfect assignment to ease us into the weekend. So let's start with the basics, though, right? When dealing with other people, you can deal with them in one of three different ways. You can deal with them well, in which case you both benefit. You gain, they gain, everyone's happy. You can kind of not deal with them and just ignore them, and in which case you are fine and they're not really affected one way or another. Or you could deal with them badly, where you are still going to benefit, but they are going to suffer or lose. Now, in class, I tell folks that we all know people that fall into each one of these categories. The people you love hanging out with, because when you're hanging out with them, you are both better. The people that you don't really care about, that are friends of friends and they're around and you hang out, but ultimately they're just not really it for you. And then those other friends you have that constantly take and take and take and take and never offer you anything back in return. Well, in the animal world, things follow this idea too. And so we have our forms of symbiosis. Symbiosis is just the fancy term for these three types of relationships. Mutualism, when everything's good on both sides. Commensalism, when you're good and they're not really gaining anything. And parasitism, when one is gaining and the other is losing. And that's what today's lab is on. So in our beautiful Schoology, down to Unit 7, and inside Unit 7, week number 2. And inside week number 2, lab number 55, the Symbiosis Lab. Let me show you. It looks, we're down near the bottom. It looks something like this. Now, sadly, on Schoology, it doesn't format like this well, and things are all messed up. So we're going to ignore the first page. Your ability to do the first page is important. We will be practicing that here in class, but thanks to the way that Schoology is formatting it, this is just not the way to do it. So instead, we're going to start here. And this is just the directions. So at each station, read the description provided. In table 1, write down the name of both organisms, which one benefits, which one is neutral, and which one is harmed. Do not leave a column blank. They say put in none or neither. I don't care. You can leave it blank. That's fine. If there isn't one that's harmed, then there isn't one that's harmed. Determine if the relationship is mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism. And if you haven't been here at class and you don't want to go check the notes and you haven't been listening to any of the other videos and you're just not going to work, then up here at the beginning, it will explain to you what each of those three are. Then in table 2, write a complete sentence describing how the relationship was mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism based on the interactions. Now, what that means is that your data table will look something like this. All right, you're going to name the two organisms that are involved. There will always be something in this column, which is what organism benefits. Every time, at least one, sometimes both. But then in these yellow columns, you're going to get one or the other. Either something is neutral or something is harmed. This is one or the other. You should never see something in both. And then you identify what type it is. So let me show you. Here is station 1. Lichen, the symbiotic relationship between fungus and algae. All right, so we have our two organisms, fungus and algae. Back down to number 1. Fungus provides nutrients to the algae. Algae provides food to the fungus. Both algae and fungus benefit. Okay, well, it told us right there. They both benefit. So which organisms benefit? Both. Which organism is neutral? None. Which organism is harmed? None. And therefore, what form of symbiotic relationship is it? Well, if they both benefit, you can see up here, that's mutualism, when both organisms benefit. All right, so table 1 is all set for station 1. Now we come down to table 2. We know that it's mutualism. Now we describe it, which you can literally use what is said right here in order to describe it. Or you can put it into your own words. Both are fine. Then we move down to station number 2. Pick either the tick in the dog or the flea on the cat. I'm going to pick flea on a cat because I like cats and I don't care for dogs. So, flea. Wait, long data table. Make sure you go to the right one. Here we go. Flea. Flea. Cat. We come back down to number 2. The parasite gets nourishment from the dog or cat. The dog is harmed. One is harmed, one is helped. Oh, okay, well, that part alone tells us what we need. So in this, between the flea and the cat, who's it going to benefit? Well, the flea is, because it's sucking the cat's blood. Is the cat neutral? No, it is not. The cat is actually being harmed by this. And if one is gaining and one is losing, that's parasitism. Then we come down to number 2. We say parasitism. And how do we know? Because the flea gains while the cat loses. And you do that for each one of the 6 stations. And then you have 3 questions to answer. You can see them, 1, 2, 3. And all you need to answer for each one is it mutualism, commensalism, or parasitism? And ladies and gentlemen, that is the entire lab. That's everything that we're doing. Nice, simple, easy, right into the weekend. So ladies and gents, I hope that helps. I hope that helps any of you that may be wondering, how do you do this? To clarify, if not, come and see me, join the class, ask your questions, and I will see you next week.